You must know the truth.
Vanetta M, good morning.
I'm nothing without you.
Karen's Way, good morning.
It's funny how I know what people mean, boy.
The jump up, what up, what up, what up?
To be true, because you give me joy, good love, good times, such happiness. Oh yeah, and every day I thank the Lord for you. I feel so blessed. I need for you to love me, hold me, touch me down deep in my soul. Never let go of the love we share. No one compares to you. I'll never let you go, 'cause I really love you so. I love you so. I'll never let you go. Oh no.
Mom Life Love, what up? Good morning, Mary Ann. Good morning.
If you only knew what you're really doing, never had no one that does it quite like you do. You could spend half a lifetime trying to find one like you. That's why I am so glad I found you, babe. I wish upon a star and it came true. Darling, I need for you to love. Hold me, touch me deep in my soul. Never let go of the love we share. No one compares to you. I'll never let you go. I'll never let you go. I really love you so. I'll never let you go.
Good morning, y'all. How are y'all doing? I know y'all like, Atmos, what in the hell are you doing up at 4:30 in the morning? Y'all, listen. First of all, for those of y'all that's up with me, good morning. I hope I ain't waiting none of y'all up. Something, listen. I've been kind of just sitting back, watching, looking at reactions to what happened the other day in his sentencing. And I don't think the people that are celebrating really understand exactly what's going on. So I want to play something for y'all just so that we all are on the same exact page. But this has really been bothering me, right? I think I shouted out everybody. Good morning, Candy. How are you? Nessie Mendoza, good morning. Mary Ann Green, good morning. Karen's Way, good morning. Mom Life Love, what's up, sis? Karen's Way. Mary Green said, Atmos, you turned into playing this Jane with these late night, early morning posts. Man, listen, I don't be trying to, Mary Ann. It just be popping up. The jump up, what's going on? I like that name. The jump up, that's tight. I like that. That's catchy. Vanetta M, good morning. Let me see who. Okay, I think I got everybody. LD, what up? What up? What up? The jump up says people are celebrating that the sentence was concurrent instead of consecutive. He really only got one extra year. Well, that's what they think, right? Marianne Green said these fools think he'll be released if he manages to get the charges dropped in New York. And that's what we got to clear up. That's what we got to clear up, okay? Because I think that even when it first came out, a lot of us was confused, including myself, right? I'm sitting up here like, hold on, this what it mean, right? Then I had some lawyer come in here, SpongeBob, shout out to SpongeBob, who was like, no, Atmos, that's not what it mean. Now, I'm not no legal scholar, right? I'm not, Angie Walker broke this thing down, and Angie told us way before she predicted this thing, and that comes from her expertise, right? But she told us that he was going to get right in between 20 and 25. She was spot on. Got to give her a shout out, man. Angie Walker was on point. But she's a lawyer, right? This is what she do. SpongeBob, same thing. SpongeBob had said the night before, SpongeBob said that this judge may be lenient on him. And I was kind of thinking the same thing because I put up a poll. And in my poll, I said, do y'all think that he's going to get, how much time do y'all think he's going to get? I was thinking 10 years ran consecutive, right? For like a total of 40 years. However, he got a little bit more, right? But it was ran concurrent. And so what people have to understand is that really R. Kelly got a total of 50 years if you combine both cases together. He got 30 years in New York and he got 20 years in Chicago. Now, the judge took 19 of the 20 years that he got in Chicago and said, I'm going to let these run side by side with the 30 years that you're serving in New York. But I'm going to tack on an extra year that you have to serve after you serve your 30 years in New York, which means you have to serve a minimum of 31 years in prison, which means what I'm about to show you. Let me minimize this. Okay, so y'all just listen up.
R. Kelly is spending more time in prison after being sentenced federally for child pornography and enticement of minors for sex. He got 20 years in prison today. He will serve all but one of those years simultaneously with a 30-year sentence for racketeering and sex trafficking. The judge ordered Kelly to serve 1 year in prison following the racketeering sentence, making him eligible for release at around the age of 80.
Okay, let me play that one more time. Listen up.
R. Kelly is spending more time in prison after being sentenced federally for child pornography and enticement of minors for sex. He got 20 years in prison today. He will serve all but one of those years simultaneously with a 30-year sentence for racketeering and sex trafficking. The judge ordered Kelly to serve 1 year in prison following the racketeering sentence, making him eligible for release at around the age of 80.
Okay, so y'all understand that, right? Here's another video.
Moments ago, a federal judge in Chicago sentenced R. Kelly for his federal case in Illinois. Tia Ewing is live downtown at the Dirkskin Federal Building with the latest for us this afternoon. Good afternoon, Tia.
Good afternoon to you, Terrence. Yeah, we were expecting a little bit more time. At least that's what the state, or I should say the government, was saying. They wanted R. Kelly to serve an additional 25 years on top of the 30 years he was already handed down out of New York. But that did not happen inside of that courtroom today. Also, R. Kelly did not speak on his behalf. A lot of fireworks, though, inside of that courtroom from both sides, the government and also R. Kelly's attorney arguing for lesser time. Meanwhile, the government was arguing for more time. The government was calling for R. Kelly to serve those 25 years consecutively to his New York sentence, where he was already convicted. The judge here in Illinois federal court decided he will serve 1 year consecutively and 19 years to be served concurrently, meaning combining the Illinois and New York cases, R. Kelly will serve 31 years. Kelly is still under indictment, though, in the state of Minnesota. And court, again, there were a lot of fireworks from his attorney. She was hoping for even less time, which it seems like she got. Hopefully we'll get to talk to her about the outcome today. And the 56-year-old, as of right now, was sentenced here in Illinois based on convictions from last year in Chicago on child pornography and enticement charges. Inside the courtroom, we did hear from two victims, and also a statement was read from one of the victims. As for R. Kelly's attorney, she did hint at the fact that a possible appeal for their charges in New York could be coming. Again, we hope to hear from her inside of the Dirksen Federal federal building. She has not come down from the courtroom yet, but hopefully we'll get to hear more on what she thinks about the outcome today in R. Kelly's cases moving forward. Live from the Dirksen Federal Building, Tia Ewing, Fox 32 Chicago.
Okay. So hold on. Let me hold on. Okay. So let's be very, very clear. Good morning, Just Jazz. What's going on? What's going on? What's up, Just V? What's going on? How you doing? Okay, Nexie Mendoza said, I get it now. Also, don't forget Lennon Weber also granted 3 years supervised release. Correct. So after he does his 31 years, he does get, So here's the thing that y'all got to realize, right? Let's say he does go. Let's say that Bonjean does get the appeal in New York, right? Let's say she get that whole 30 years wiped out. R. Kelly still got to do the 20 years in Chicago. So he would leave New York and they would ship him to Chicago where he would be still doing his 20-year prison sentence in Chicago. And then as Just Jazz says, he also was granted 3 years supervised release after his 20 years. Okay? So those are the facts, y'all. So the jump said he won't serve 31 years. He will be out way before that. He has already done almost 4. Okay. We never know what can happen. Laws can change in the next 10 years. Good point. The jump. That's true. That is true. That's true. I'll give you that. Okay. That's a good point. However, the facts are as it stands right now, unless something does happen, right? He has already done 4 years, right? So, but right now it's looking like at a minimum he'll be getting out right when he's about, what you say, LD? LD said he still got 21 in Chicago. Correct. So either way, he won't be getting out till he's around 80 unless something happens, unless he gets his case thrown out in New York or his sentence, washed away in New York and then comes back to Chicago and then goes back and says, hey, you know what, let's go ahead and wipe out these, they appeal to Chicago since he get that wiped out. You know what? Then y'all can, then I will celebrate, right? Yeah, Mary Ann Green says, I agree. He won't serve 30, but 2 decades is a long time. Right. Okay. What up, Ty? Good morning, Ty. I was wondering where my West Coast folks was at. I said, I got some East Coast folks in here too. What's up, Ty? Now, but I just, I heard some people that was just, just going a little bit too overboard with this thing. I'm going to play something, for y'all. Cause you got some people who just don't, how like you can be wrong on something and then you'll especially as a blogger. One thing about me is if I'm wrong about something, I'll say, hey y'all, I was wrong about that. This is really what it is, right? If I mess up, I'm gonna come and tell y'all the truth. Look, hey, here's the truth. Here's really what's going on, right? Let me read here. Just Jazz says the judge said in court, Robert caused no bodily harm. The accuser's only loss was love and affection, no core. That is what the judge said. Now, here's the thing. I would say this. I would say that the Judge Lennon Weber was very lenient on R. Kelly as far as, I even at one point it was said, and we're going to get the transcript so we can read exactly what he said, but it was said that, he had minions. And as I understood, I was listening to Levi for Kelly. Shout out to Levi. Listening to his panel the other night, and there was this one lady on there who was really, really in her feelings about the fact that the judge called his helpers minions. And that was something that some of the R. Kelly supporters didn't like. But, that was his opinion of him, Let me see. Just says that's not facts, Atmos. He will never serve 31 years straight. It's the feds. 10 months in the time feds is a year, plus the new law 1 to 77 days off a year for every year. Well, we'll see, Just Jazz. We'll see. I will say this: I know he got to serve at least 85% of that time, right? That is fair time. He got to serve at least 85% of that time. So we'll see what happens. Even if let's say the man served 20 years, 20 years at 56, that's still 76 years old. That's a long time. That's a long time. You know, the average life expectancy of a man in prison is what they say 65 years old. So, you know, I don't personally, my personal opinion, I don't want to see the man spend the rest of his life in prison. But you know, unless something happens dramatically, it looks like he's gonna spend probably the rest of his life definitely in prison, right? Unless something does happen. Okay. Let me see. Karen's Way says, let me see. Oh, Mom, I said, I can't wait to get them transcripts. I can't wait either. I can't wait either. Ty says she knows it all. Travis Sloan says he could have some crazy. You know what, Travis Sloan? Listen, people been talking about, you know, Donald Trump pardoning him, right? I've heard that. I've heard that. LD said that is BS in my opinion. Judge comes from that time when little girls were up for grabs. Love and affection from a grown man. Yeah, and like I said, that's what makes this thing so broad is that people are gonna have different opinions about it, right? But what I'm doing is I'm just giving y'all the numbers, all of the extra intricacies that can happen in between there or around there. You know, if that happens, then it happens. But as we stand right now today, he's going to, let's see, let me read some of y'all comments. In court, the judge said after 3 years, he will be eligible for supervised release. If you don't get supervised release after 30 years, you get released before your total. In court, the judge said after 3 years, he will be eligible for supervised release. If you don't get supervised release after 30 years, you get released before your total. Well, that's probably in Chicago. I don't think. See, that's the thing we got to deal with. What he's doing in Chicago is totally different than what they're doing in New York. So Leonard Weber can't make decisions for Chicago. I mean, for New York. So we're gonna definitely see how that turns out. So even, you know, like I said, if this was just all about Chicago, then yeah, you may have a little bit more leeway. But New York got a whole different thing going on, and from what I'm hearing from people that's from New York, is they don't, you know, they don't have no relationship with R. Kelly the same way Chicago do, right? So they feel a little bit different, like they feel like New York got them either way. Mary Ann Green said just jazz only. He didn't cause 3 victims. He didn't cause 3 victims bodily harm, but there were videos of him physically abusing the victims from the New York case. That is true, Mary Ann Green. That is facts. Ty said, forever a sex offender, pedophile, predator, molester, and rapist. Okay. LD says, funny how older women can judge off totally different than older men, older male. Okay. Mom Life Love said, Lord have mercy. Ty said, of both male and female. Just Jazz says at Marianne Green, I went to the New York trial for 6 weeks straight. Nobody was caused bodily harm, nor was there medical records or police records showing physical abuse, but I was talking about Chicago. Just Jazz, I don't know. New York was pretty damn nasty. They showed the video of him. You know, the New York was disgusting. He did cause a lot of harm to some of them girls. It was some of them videos that was played, the audios, where I heard that people that were there actually walked out because it was so disgusting. You know, they people heard the audio of him and the girls. It was gross. It's even gross to even talk about with him directing them on where to smear their feces and urine and spanking them and all kind of stuff. So I know you're an R. Kelly supporter, so you're gonna be a little bit sensitive to this subject matter. But the facts are he did abuse a lot of those girls, especially in New York, and he did in Chicago too. Like I said, Leonard Weber just had a different. He had some leniency on R. Kelly in Chicago, and it showed in his sentencing. But we're allowed to agree to disagree. I think that there was a preponderance of evidence that showed that he abused, molested, took advantage of those young ladies and those minors in New York. And that's just the facts. It's just the facts. Okay. My Life Love says, yes, bro, I don't understand why. I said, take the wheel. Just Jazz, did you hear the videos of the spankings? Ty said the delusions. Marianne says, I'm calling your bluff on this one. You may have been there, but you forgetting some of the evidence. Yeah, there were people. We had people there too that was there that said it was disgusting, and you could hear what he was doing to them girls. Some people actually got up and left because felt like they was about to throw up, and it was horrible. It was horrible, and it aided in and abetted in the reason why he got 30 years in New York. That evidence was crucial, right? Mom Life says 24/7 lies about people, but straight keep coming. Ty with OCLV, Marianne Green, she heard and seen it all. Yeah. So but here's one of the main reasons why I want to come over here, y'all. And I heard this, and I was just like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" Nexie Mendoza said they even had to cover the screens. Yeah, because they would. Even the judge said that they couldn't get the images out their head of exactly what he was making them girls do and directing them to do. They couldn't get it out their head. So they tried to protect the jury the best way they could, but there was no way that they could give people the evidence without at least letting them hear it. And I think some of the jurors might have even seen some of the stuff. So it's crazy. But I want y'all to just kind of just listen to this, because this kind of blew my mind as far as the reaction of some of these folks out here on these YouTube streets. So let me play the audio of this for y'all. Just hold one moment. Mute this here. Just listen up.
Is somebody mad? Is somebody mad or somebody been praying? Which one is it? Which one is it? Somebody mad or somebody been praying? Who been praying? Somebody been praying? Hold on. Even if it looks like rain, and it looks like rain, we're gonna have a kill celebration. 1 year, y'all. One year Kale's got. Goddamn, look at God.
So, people, please understand. He got 20 years. He didn't just get 1 year. Now, the 20 years really kicks in and makes an effect if there's some way, somehow, that the skies part and that they get this appeal in New York and all 30 years get wiped out. He still has to do his 20 years in Chicago. He still has to do that. Now, let's say, hypothetically, that he only does 19 years and he gets, let's say, 11 of those years suspended, right? Let's say they find some way where they cut his time down. Well, he has to do 19 years in Chicago concurrent. So if he does 19 years in New York and that runs concurrent with Chicago, then guess what? After he does the 19 years in New York to run concurrent with Chicago, that means he only still got to do one more year in Chicago. Right? Now, they might give him that year time served, and then he'll be able to get out. Okay? However, the point is, even if he gets out early in New York, he still has to deal, and we still don't know what the hell about to happen with Minnesota. We still don't know what's going to happen with Minnesota, right? We still don't know what's going to happen with Minnesota, okay? The jump says, spanking this S&M. His lawyers in New York should have used the S&M defense, okay? Candy said, wow, seems like everyone has been in jail. Ty said, no more hit songs. Marianne Green says, just jazz only. I wish you the best. I think you're missing a lot of info, though, or choosing to ignore it. Let me see. Just Jazz says, I spoke on me being in court in Chicago, and the judge said there was no bodily harm. Accusers just had loss of love and affection, no coercion. Well, that's what the judge says, but everyone don't agree with the judge. The judge has a it's his job to give his opinion, and like I said, people are going to read the paperwork. They're going to say, okay, well, and it kind of flips around if you look at it, because there's some things that Judge Ann Donnelly, people say, well, she overlooked, or especially people on y'all's side may say, hey, well, Judge Ann Donnelly didn't look at this, or she should have allowed the text messages in, or she should have allowed, put the parents on the stand. Where were the parents and all that kind of stuff? Why did she exclude them? And this was exculpatory or evidence. This was Brady evidence, all this kind of stuff, right? Brady material. This is some stuff that could have helped R. Kelly, but she wouldn't let it in. So if you really look at it, it goes both ways. Judge's job is to interpret the law and and do the sentencing. And in this case, Lennon Weber gave him 20 years with 19 to serve concurrent with his New York. So you can say that was lenient. And if he would have said consecutive, that would have been a whole different story. So did he get a break in Chicago? Yes. However, if he does get out or the time in New York, he still got to do his 20 in Chicago. That don't go away just because he may get an appeal in New York. And that's just the facts of what we got to look at with this thing. Okay? Marianne says, you also said that you want the New York trial. You went to the New York trial and that there wasn't any bodily harm. Yeah, and listen, y'all, Just Jazz, she has her opinion, right? She's allowed to have her opinion, just like we're allowed to have our opinions, right? So in her opinion, there wasn't any bodily harm done. In the opinion of the jury, there was. In the opinion of Judge Ann Donnelly, there was. In the opinion of the people that were there watching and listening, there was. And so that was why he got his sentence the way he did. And those are just the facts, right? So, that's just what it is. Anyway, let's listen up. Marianne, you're allowed. Thank you for coming out the bushes. Thank you for coming out the bushes. I appreciate it. So let's continue listening, y'all, because some of these people just really amaze me. Let's listen on.
Look at God. Oh, man. Man, look at God. Let me go on this tirade real quick. Oh. Snuggle. But I'll take this right here. I will take this. Thank you, God. might
That's right,
turn
Mary Ann
around
Green.
on you.
That's
You better
true.
be careful what you're doing, 'cause somebody might do it to you if the shoes fit. Look at that judge. Thank you for that judge. Hold on, y'all. Let me pull up my screen. Let me pull up my screen. Let me pull up my screen. And I'll appeal that motherfucking year too, man. Waste the government.
Just Jazz, there's two totally different jurisdictions. What happens in New York don't got nothing to do with what happens in Chicago. That's why, I mean, if there was a case, then Ann Donnelly could have just ran both of them together, and that was the part of the reason why they didn't do both of them together, so that both wouldn't be under the same sentence. So the reason why they charged it in Chicago separate than New York is simply it's separate. New York don't got nothing to do with Chicago. That's why he was tried, and both put on their own different cases. And you had the New York AUSAs, and you had the Chicago AUSAs, who had nothing to do with each other. So you saying concurrent, you'll serve your time on each. It's no separate. Oh, it's separate. Everything runs together. You don't serve two different sentences. No, that's true. Those 19 years do run together with the 19 years in Chicago. However, if the New York case gets somehow removed, he still has to do his 20 years in Chicago. Now, the lawyers, Bonjean, could go back to Chicago and say, "Hey, y'all, well, New York removed these years, so can y'all remove y'all years also?" She could do that. But her 20 years in his 20 years in Chicago not going nowhere. He's gonna serve them 20 years. Well, okay, minus the 85%. Okay, so whatever that is, he's gonna serve that minimum plus his time served. Okay, that's just the facts. New York and Chicago have absolutely nothing to do with each other. Nothing. Two totally different jurisdictions. And that's where that's why this double jeopardy thing gets destroyed, because you got two totally different jurisdictions when you come to this. So for the people that say, "Oh, well, and I heard some people saying this, well, if he gets his time wiped out in New York, that means he's gonna walk free in Chicago." No, that's not what that means. That's not what that means. Even if his sentence in New York gets wiped out, he still has to do his 20 years in Chicago. He's going to do 20 years regardless, unless Bonjean overturns the 20 years that he got in Chicago. That's just the facts, right? That's what's going on, y'all. So let's listen on, because there was some really... What's up, Lesmit One? What's going on? There was some celebrating going on, and I was just like, okay, celebrate when you got the facts with you. All right, so hold on. Let me let y'all listen some more. Hold on.
People, some of these people, man. Look at God. Look at God. I'm gonna pop up live. Just give me a second, y'all. Give me a hot second. Y'all know me. Y'all know I'm geeked up. Look at God. Oh, look at God. It's so awesome, man. Fucking for what?
Y'all, it is people that's really, really thinking that this man about to come home.
Fucking for what?
You hear this? Unbelievable.
Look at God, man. Why won't they spread that around? All right, y'all. I'm finna pop up on the live. Give me a second. Give me a hot, quick, diggity second. Oh, God, look at God. I got the text through the phone like, what? Come on. Let's go, StreamYard. Yeah, Kels got 1 year. And we know that 30 years gonna be overturned. What? Look at God. 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 Hey, I'm gonna pop up on this live. Oh God, look at God. Let's go.
Let me go back to some of y'all comments. Just Jazz says Judge Ann couldn't make a decision on concurrent or consecutively. She tried him first. Okay. Go find out about deceased. People saying just that. OCOV, Fat Boy. What up, Fat Boy? Fat Boy said his lawyer admitted his guilt. Yeah, she had to. She had to admit his guilt because he was guilty. He was found guilty. So yeah, she did. Messy love. Don't waste your time. These slow folks. This nigga don't give a fuck if he do life or get out tomorrow. Right. Yeah, I just want I need people to understand that what this means. Just because I'm gonna keep saying it because I see that some people still think that if he gets this New York sentence thrown out, that he's still gonna just walk out of Chicago. That's not the way it works. It's not the way it works. The point of giving him the 19 out of the 20 years concurrent with New York is to say that, if it would have been consecutive, it would have been on top of, which means added on, which means following the 30 years, he would have to do another 20 years. That's what that means, okay? However, it would have been different if he would have said, in Chicago, I'm going to give R. Kelly 1 year only. He gave him 20 years. 19 of those to serve at the same time that he's serving the 30 years in Chicago. That don't mean, and in New York, that don't mean that if New York gets wiped out, then all those 20 years in Chicago get wiped out too. That's not what it means. That just simply means that if you get the sentence overturned and that time dropped off in New York, now you got to come to Chicago and do the 20. That's what that means. Okay. Let me see. Just V says he sure doesn't, Ty. He pretended to care when YouTube was his sole income. Right. Yeah, that dude, he don't. I ain't even gonna say his name. Don't nobody mention his name in my chat. It's a waste of space. I want y'all to just kind of hear how some of these R. Kelly supporters who went away for like a whole month and didn't even talk about this dude to support him, now that they have some halfway information and putting out wrong information, they think that this man about to walk out. Just listen.
What?
This is a 51-year-old person.
What? Now y'all know what I'm thinking in my mind, right? Oh my God. Look at all this. Do you know how this makes system look? Do y'all know make the system look corrupt? Wow. Look at God. Yeah. See, when I got the text through, man, look at God. Let me read this shit. Man, look at God. So,
All right, so Marianne, let me read what you said here. Marianne Green says, I think he was screwed by the system in one way. When he lost the ability to delay the sentencing of his New York trial, he lost his ability to express remorse, if he has some or any. Well, here's the thing, Marianne. You bring up a very good point. But my thing is this. He had how many different interviews with different bloggers? That Natasha lady, he had an interview with Storm Monroe. He had an interview with some other people, right? I think he had plenty of opportunity to express remorse, but he chose not to, you know, and so that's kind of on him, right? The judge, Leonard Weber, gave him an opportunity and said, "Do you have anything you want to say? Do you want to say anything for yourself?" And R. Kelly said, "I'm just going to trust my lawyers." That was his choice. Now he'll talk to YouTube. He'll defend himself on YouTube. But as someone was saying, the perfect opportunity for him to bring up his disappointment or his disdain for his emails getting released was right there on trial. You want to put something on record? You want to put something on record that can help you in an appeal? That might have been a great opportunity for R. Kelly. Right there in the middle, with the whole world watching, him get up there and say, listen, I feel that my human rights were violated, whether it's understood that that BOP officer actually didn't break any laws by looking up his emails and his calls, because yeah, they broke BOP rules, but they didn't break federal rules. Okay, now as far as it getting to, you know, bloggers and all that kind of stuff, does that break, you know, criminal? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. Okay. But we just got to be very, 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 very clear. Very clear. Okay. Very clear. Matter of fact, let me see something. So Just Jazz says he has 4 years in already. After 3 years eligible for supervised release, and you walk off the rest of your time on parole. This ain't your case, it's R. Kelly's. Yeah, and that's the thing, Just Jazz. That's for Chicago. That's for Chicago. We gotta worry about New York. New York is signed, sealed, and delivered. Okay, New York is signed, sealed, and delivered. All that stuff about Chicago and him walking off in 3 years and all that, that's all like fairy tale, like wishing right now, right? A whole lot would have to happen in order for that 3 years of supervised release, in order for that to come into effect. It would have to be a miracle for that to happen, because I don't see Judge, and I don't see the Second Circuit, which I believe they got to go before either the Second or the Seventh Circuit, whichever one, I'm not sure. Either one of those, I don't see them overturning Judge Ann Donnelly's conviction. I just don't see it. True Strong Warrior says that his supervised release doesn't begin until he has done his sentence. It is to be run concurrent with the 5 years of supervised visits in New York after he served his sentence. Just Jazz says he don't need an appeal to get supervised release. He just has to stay on good behavior and join programs or a job to be eligible for 3 years supervised release. But you can't get an appeal. Just Jazz, Chicago issuing a option for him to have supervised 3 year supervised release has nothing to do with New York. He still got to do his 30 piece in New York. They can't cross over. Like, he can't just say, hey, Ann Donnelly, this what you saying, Just Jazz. You saying that he can call up Ann Donnelly and say, hey, check this out, right? Over here in Chicago, we're going to just give him 20 years, right? And we're going to let it run concurrent with your 30. But in 3 years, y'all need to let him out because he's going to be eligible for supervised release, okay? I don't give a damn about all the evidence and the videos and all the stuff that y'all did in New York, okay? But as far as I feel like, you know what I'm saying, because back in the day when I was, you know what I'm saying, back in the day, I used to mess with little young girls too. So, you know, I kind of sympathize with that dude, you know what I mean? I think them girls just, you know, they just mad because, you know, he ain't want to deal with them no more. But look, do me a favor, Ann Donnelly. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you put the word out to those people up there in New York if he try to go for the appeal, that y'all just wipe that out, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, that man need to be able to get out and still do what he do, you know what I'm saying? Because we love Chicago around here. We don't care what y'all doing in New York, all right? All right, so I'm going to let you know what I'm about to do. I'm about to give him this time, and I'm going to give him 3 years to be let out in New York, okay? You cool with that? All right, cool. I'll holler at you later. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. So, point blank, Just Jazz, that is incorrect. That is not what he said. Just Jazz says supervised release is getting out early. You don't need supervised release if you max out. So Just Jazz, if like I was saying, if it was only a Chicago sentence that was in play here, then you may have a much more valid point, right? If it was only a Chicago sentence that he had to deal with, this man got a whole 30 piece. A whole 30 piece he got to deal with in New York first. In New York, he got to deal with 30. And then he got to, I don't know, we still don't know. Listen, we still don't know what's going to happen with Minnesota. That is up in the air. Okay? But, you know, I'm not trying to change your mind, Just Jazz. I know, you know what I'm saying, or any R. Kelly supporter. Y'all gonna feel the way y'all do. A lot of people are reading this sentence totally different ways. Okay? However, I wanna hear some more of the delusion from that side. Hold on. Yeah, he gotta serve that 30 piece. He gotta serve that 30 piece, man. He can't get around that. Atmos, I think, is trying to distract us. Just Jazz cool. Just Jazz cool. She just got her way of thinking. You know?
Wow, all I'm gonna keep saying is wow.
Fat Boy said, Just Jazz, did he F minors? Just a question. Did he have sex with minors, Just Jazz? I don't know if you can answer that question or not. Did R. Kelly have sex with minors? Is a question that Fat Boy has for you. Okay?
An official sentence for a Chicago conviction of child porn and sexual enticement charges. He'll serve 20 years, 19 years concurrent, and 1 year consecutively to his prior 30 years. And then you know what? Okay, let me not get too excited. Let me get this straight. So let's just have a dialogue. So you telling me they gave him concurrent to the 30 years, but gave 1 year consecutively. So that means, so follow me if I'm right or am I wrong, because I don't know that much.
So before I play, I want y'all to understand that this whole thing was confusing for a lot of people, right? It was confusing. It was confusing. It was y'all silly. It was confusing for a lot of people. Okay, it was confusing for a lot of people, and it took some lawyers coming on my channel just to kind of say, Atmos, this what that mean, this what that mean, right? Angie Walker's broke it down also. So let me read what some of y'all saying. Next, he says, I'm going to write R. Kelly and tell him, man, I remember my 30s, and now you remember yours too. Just V says, concurrent is a big word for leprechaun, man. Y'all are silly. Ty said, nigga, just read what you're doing. Y'all silly. Mom Life says, yes, I was confused as hell. A lot of us were. Let's continue. I want y'all to just kind of hear how the other side responded to this. Okay, here we go.
So if they overturn, when they overturn 30 years conviction, right? That means kill some people. That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know.
Okay, let me help you out. Sir. If they overturn the 30 years in New York, that does not mean R. Kelly gets to come home. He still has to do his 20 years in Chicago. Now, let's say he does another 5 years because it ran concurrent. Because the 19 years runs concurrent with the 30, let's say he does another 5 years in New York. Okay? And let's say he already did 4 years in New York, right? They could take those 4 years and give him time served, which means he'll have another 26 years, right? So let's say he do 5 more years. That leaves him 21 years, right? So they could take that 5 years that he had to run concurrent with New York or with Chicago, and let's say he may have to go back to Chicago and still finish out those other 15 years. Because let's say they gave him 5 years credit in New York. He still got to finish out his concurrent years. Okay? Plus that extra 1 year that he serves consecutive to that. So just because he may get his sentence wiped out in New York does not mean that he's going to be walking off scot-free. Let's please understand that. Okay? So that was me helping you out. Okay? That was me helping you out. Shout out to SpongeBob. Okay? Here we go.
That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. 30-year conviction. Somebody talk to me. I want to make sure we on the same accord. So that means if they overturn this, all Kill don't have to do nothing. Oh, man.
That's not what it means. That's not what it means. So keep the champagne bottles put up. What's up, Danny? Keep the champagne bottles put up. Don't get too excited. Don't get too excited. Okay? Don't get too excited.
Wow.
Now he about to cry. Now he about to cry. These false emotions. This man is crying right now.
1 year and he pays no fines.
Let's also talk about that restitution thing. Just because the judge did not make him pay restitution in his criminal trial does not mean that he don't got to pay no money civilly. The facts are, he did record himself doing these things to these young ladies. Okay? Those are facts. If he gets sued civilly, he gonna have to pay some money. It's just not gonna happen in the criminal trial. Leonard Weber said, listen, sue him civilly. Go to civil court. I'm not gonna make that decision here in this court doing the criminal. Okay, that's all that means. Here we go.
Man. Let me say something, y'all. Yeah, I know they don't want to look on this channel right now because we partying over here. Man, let me say this, man.
Yeah, Danny, he missed eligible for parole in his 80s part. That's correct.
Let me say this right here, y'all.
And here's the thing people got to understand. The judge said, just Jazz, if you still here, I want you to listen. I want you to listen. The judge said, no matter what, R. Kelly is not walking out of the doors. No matter what he do, no matter what he say. He will be old enough to where he is focused, not focused on young girls, but focused on his prostate issues and all that kind of stuff. If he reaches the 80s. Judge Leonard Weber gave him that 20 piece to ensure that he is not going to be on the hook for New York sentence getting appealed, and then as they have in this imaginary bubble that if New York gets appealed and that time goes away, so does Chicago's time. No. That's not the way that works. That's not the way that works. The absolute earliest he could probably get out, even with adding on this 20 years, let's say that, I don't know how long it'll take for the appeal process in New York, but let's say he does get the New York, maybe 76, 77, give or take. Is he still going to be trying to get after young girls of 76, 77? I would hope not. I would hope not. Ty says she sleep Atmos. They stay sleep over there. They do stay asleep. That is the truth. Here we go. Listen to this, y'all. So these people honestly feel as though that he is about to get out. Like this how they really feel. This what they telling their people. Listen up.
Not stop praying. Hey, the haters is gone. Let me tell you something. These The haters don't want to watch this channel right now. I see why they leaving. They do not like to hear this good news. Listen.
Okay, so listen. When I did my live the other day about this here, I said based on my opinion, my opinion, that R. Kelly got a break in Chicago. Based on my opinion, what I thought he was going to get. I thought he was going to get another 10 years ran consecutive. That's what I thought, for a total of 40 years. That's what I thought. However, he only ended up getting 20 with 19 ran consecutive, which means that consecutive extra year tags on to the extra year with the 30 in New York. So a total of 31 years. So in my opinion, I said, you know what, y'all, that's a win for them. But then I sat down and I thought about it. I'm like, well, is 20 more years on top of 30 really a win? Not really. In my own opinion, I would say because of what I thought he was going to get, he got less time than what I thought. But when you really look at this, can you really celebrate because he got 20 more years on top of the 30? I gotta. No. You can't celebrate getting 20 more years tacked on to your sentence. That's not nothing to celebrate about. It's just not. Okay? Here we go.
Let me tell y'all something. This just a minor but a major victory, right? This is y'all. This here. Yeah. The haters don't want to hear this news. All of them right now, is everybody in this chat that's listening to me right now. Do me one big favor. I need you all typing anything in this chat for 20 seconds. And I'm showing you right now. I don't want nobody to type not one word. Everybody that fucks with me, rocking with me. I ain't talking about the haters because I don't expect y'all to do too much. But I need y'all to pause right now for 20 seconds and count to 20. And then type all you want. God, I ask you in the name of Jesus that you continue to work on the behalf of Robert Sylvester. It's the money, but a major victory because we know in your eyes, you see fit what is just. God, this has been a long 4 years of fighting for the injustice of Robert Sylvester Kelly. Continue to cover him, cover his family, protect him, keep him out of harm's way. And God, when his appeal come through, let you have the last and final say-so over this decision as well. We want to thank you for his lawyer, Bonjean. We want to thank you for everybody that prayed for this man. We want to thank you for the good as well as the bad, God. But we know you is a God that sit high and look low. And God, we just want to say thank you right now. Thank you. As we pause for these 20 seconds, and we just may go over these 20 seconds just to continue to praise your name, to say we know you are God all by yourself. We thank you, Lord, on this day. Thank you for the judge. Thank you for the prosecutors. Thank you for the lawyers. Thank you for everybody that played a part in this man's life. And thank you for the ones who tried to railroad this man and didn't succeed in their plan. Thank you for them, Lord, because you know this man. You created this man. And don't nobody know his heart but your heart. And God, we say, Lord, let his head up. Let us head up. God, he's trying to some justice in our system. And in prayer, I just want to say, God, you is awesome. All by yourself. And whatever the enemy devil meant for evil, you turned it around for the good. And continue to bless them, Lord, and keep them covered in your name. And let us all say, amen. Type amen. Type amen. 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 Free R. Kelly. Yes. Free R. Kelly. Everybody. Type amen. Free R. Kelly. Damn.
He don't, Bomb Life. They don't understand the full scope of what happened, and that's why they doing this.
You know. So happening, and so much bad has happened. When you know so much happened, motions denied.
There'll be more motions denied. Look forward to that.
Motions denied.
Mm-hmm.
Motions denied. Bond denied. I'll tell y'all something. When you know so much has happened, and then when something finally happened, that's some type of justice, and you be sealed. This can't be real. This can't be real.
It's not.
But it's real. Because they've been denying this man, degrading this man.
Yeah, he got the SpongeBob phone next
Public
to him.
humiliating this man. Can I go deep? Can I just go a little bit deep?
In his service, this is a video from yesterday. It's not live.
If that happens, and it really manifests itself. When people say, oh, years. when you watch these hypocrites, R. Kelly, they turn around and they aim for him because they in tour with somebody. When you this right here is a milestone.
Was Blues Clues. They call this a milestone, y'all.
When you
They call
look at
20
the
more years.
system,
20 more years a milestone.
and now you got the question: Can Fox and the government's motive to destroy this man's career? And they did all this. This goes to show you how corrupt the system is. They did all this. They did all this.
Yeah.
Call the 1-800 number, surviving lives.
Yeah,
They did all.
that's a true Nickelodeon phone.
Call the 1-800 number. That thing to tell you. You got all the people that's calling us terrorists. You got all the people calling us terrorists.
Yeah, unfortunately they do. Some do. Next, some of them do. Some people do.
All the people calling us terrorists. 312, I love you. Dubowski, I love you.
Now you love everybody. Because you think
What about Booth?
Wow.
I love you.
Wow.
Hey, Trent. I love you. Hey, Travis. I love you. Hey, Lady G. I love you, Sylvia.
They feeling real good right now, boy.
I love you.
Wait till somebody tell them the truth.
Everybody has something to do with free account. I mean, to pray. Everybody that came to the rallies, and I ain't mentioned your name: Christy, Glenda, Janet.
Yep, that's right, Ty.
Loyalty, Daddy Lolo, everybody that had a role in Free R. Kelly. With no malicious intent. To this rate, I won't say I love you. Sometimes it's it makes you feel like it's really against you. The man was already found guilty by public opinion. He's already found guilty by surviving lies.
Oh, boy.
I am so glad that God touched this judge's heart
To give him
And
20
whatever
more
he-
years.
whatever he saw fit or thought about, that God put him on his heart to make that decision.
This
Man,
what you
sometimes
call
this system will make you feel like it really just want to destroy all Black African Americans.
what? It make you want to destroy all Black African Americans.
I don't give a fuck. It's my body. What is their motive? Whether he saw fit or thought about, that God put him on his heart to make that decision. Man, sometimes this system will make you feel like it really just want to destroy all Black African Americans. I don't care. Nose, eyes, I don't give a fuck. It's my body. What is their motive? Man, thanks to his wife. Yeah, thank everybody that had the heart for this man to be free and not clout chase off his name for personal gain. Shout out to you. Shout out to y'all prayers. Shout out to y'all support. You know what I'm thinking? Because I'm a thinker. I love it.
Y'all see what somebody put? 1 year and Kells pays no fines.
Who's to say, hypothetical, you know, that's me. Who's to say that all this fighting that we was doing in Chicago, all the things that was going on during the New York trial, who's to say that that judge wasn't watching it? Who's to say that the judge in Chicago wasn't watching the rap?
I promise you that judge was not watching that crazy, worthless rally that y'all did. I can guarantee it. Guaranteed.
Rallies that was going on in Chicago. Who's to say that judge wasn't even watching YouTube? Who's to say that this my man?
You know what? Let's take a poll. Let's take a poll. I want to ask y'all. I'm gonna ask y'all because y'all the smart folks on these YouTube streets. How many of y'all feel like the judge was watching the rally in New York? If you feel like the judge was watching the rally in New York, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like the judge was watching the rallies in New York, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel like he has so many better things to do, put a 2 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you think the judge is watching the rallies. Put a 2 in the chat if you think he could have cared less.
I don't think like everybody else. I don't think this is what makes me unique. I don't think like who to say the judge wasn't watching. Free R. Kelly. The judge wasn't watching us standing in the Kim Fox building. The judge wasn't watching us at the MCC. The judge wasn't watching the internet. The judge wasn't watching.
So is he trying to insinuate that the rallies was something that helped the judge to decide to give him the 20 years that he gave him? Is that what he's trying to imply? And this Melissa Rainey lady, she is truly lost. Always been lost, even on Twitter.
Watching the judge in New York.
1 year and Kales pays no fines. He still got to pay 45.
What's the judge?
40 some thousand.
Work? Or the informant?
42.
6'9" Larry.
There you go, talking about Larry.
I'm just things the type of thing in my mind when you get these type of outcomes and you be saying to yourself like, damn, if this judge gonna be like the next judge. I remember when I was in Chicago and R. Kelly court cases and court dates and I first saw what's his name? Greenberg, whatever his name is.
Greensburg.
And I came back on live and I said, man, it seemed like Greenberg got a good relationship with the judge. The judge seemed like he was cool. I said that. I don't go back. You know, now that I think about it, you know why I delete all my videos? You know why I delete my channels? You know why they delete my channels? You know why they don't want me on YouTube? Because I'm a fucking threat.
You a threat? A threat to what? A threat to who? I'm confused, y'all. Is he illegal? You a legal threat? Like, I'm confused. I don't know, mate. I don't know.
I'm just saying what I saw Foster. What?
Somebody said a threat to water not taking it back.
Am I dreaming? Do I need to end this and come back? Last time I sleep up and I fell asleep and I said Hillary was gonna be president. And when I woke up, it was Donald Trump. I said, maybe I'm dreaming. But it was so fucking real. I'm watching the polls. I'm saying Hillary Clinton got this. I ain't even stay up for the debate. Everybody that played a part is I'm starting to think but we was doing all this. I just like to think positive, you know, good positive shit happen. I like to think positive.
They think it was a positive thing that R. Kelly got 20 more years. on top of the 30 years that he has to do in New York. That's
And while we was doing all that, free R. Kelly. How you gonna get everybody a case for fighting for Robert Sylvester Kelly? I say it again, that nigga was never for him. He was all about his own shine.
all right. So I just like to show people the differences in the people who don't fully understand exactly what happened. Like I said, when that sentence first came down, a lot of people were confused as to what it meant. But because of some of the legal people that we have on this channel and people that have been through it, they were able to kind of break it down to where we all understood what it meant. There are still some bloggers out here that think that if he gets this New York sentence wiped out, that he's going to walk free. They really are sitting here thinking that, y'all. They really are sitting here thinking that. I wanted to just kind of show y'all both extremes from people who don't understand what happened in Chicago and what they put out here to these people. And they keep spreading false information. If I get something wrong, I am going to try to get it right. And once I get it right, I'm going to come before y'all like I am right now to say, hey, y'all, I was wrong. This is really what happened, right? There was some parts of it that I was kind of confused about. I was like, hold on. So does that mean he get out in 3 years if he got to go to Chicago? Right? So I was even confused on some stuff. But through having lawyers come up here, through having people that know about this stuff come up here, we was able to get straight to the truth. What's up, Black Diamond? What's going on? What's going on? So my thing is this, y'all. We got to get to the point to where before we give information to our people, that we kind of make sure that we right. And when we find out that we not right, that we just come back and just be like, yo, I was wrong. Okay? Mom Life says, Nexie, thank God YouTube ain't our real life. So I really... But y'all, listen, man. I know some of y'all just getting up for work. So y'all are like, what is Atmos doing up this early? Y'all know this is not my normal. But I took tomorrow off. Today off just to kind of rest up. I've been working real hard this week, y'all. But I just said, you know what? Let me just take a day, come see my people, and just kind of just release what's on my brain, right? What's up, Chocolate 82467? Good morning. But y'all, this live was just to kind of just bring y'all the facts about what's really going on, what really happened with that sentencing. So just for the people who don't understand, that are just coming in, that are still confused about what happened in Chicago. So what Judge Leonard Weber did is he gave R. Kelly a 20-year sentence. Okay? Out of those 20 years, he gave him 19 of those years to run concurrent with the 30 years he already has in New York, which means that as he's serving his 30 years in New York, when he gets up to the 19th year, that means that he would have had done the 19 years that he was sentenced in Chicago. Now, the judge also added another year to follow on top of the 30 years that R. Kelly has been sentenced to in New York. Okay? Now, if by some chance Jennifer Bonjean is able to get the sentence in New York overturned, which means those 30 years go away. They find some type of glitch or some type of technicality on appeal. R. Kelly does not go home. He will still have to do the 20 years he has in Chicago. So then they just ship him back to Chicago, and then from there, the sky's the limit. Okay, some believe that the 20 years he got in Chicago, he will be eligible for supervised release in 3 years, which means out of those 20 years, he would only have to do 3 and then get out. So, or he'd be eligible for that, right? So, but point is that he would still have to do his time in Chicago, even if the New York sentence is wiped out. So I want to make sure that we are all on the same page. Okay? But y'all listen, I love y'all. Thank y'all for being. I did not expect to have 70-some people here at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry for the people I woke up. Y'all must really love me. And I appreciate y'all, and I love y'all too. Okay? What's up, Faith Bureaus? All right, y'all. But y'all listen. Hopefully, we all have clarity now. Okay? We all have clarity about exactly what happened in Chicago. R. Kelly got 20 more years on top of the 30 years he already has, for a total of 50 years. Out of those 50 years, 19 of those years will run concurrent with New York, which means he has 31 years total he needs to do. As the judge says, he won't get out until his 80s. As y'all just heard on the news clipping, he won't get out until he's at least 80, which means that he will hopefully not be a threat to society anymore, because he will be an 80-year-old man, not focused on little young girls and little kids and going to high schools and picking up kids and all that. Can you imagine him in a station wagon going to pick up? It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Okay, but y'all listen. Hold on. Black Diamond, I'm sorry. We've been on here for about an hour and a half, hour and 35 minutes. So, does everyone understand fully what happened in Chicago now? If you have any questions or you need some clarification, ask me in the chat and I'll try to clear it up for y'all. Or you can just go back and watch the video. Okay? If y'all will do me a favor on the way out of here, hit that like button for me. It's absolutely free. I would appreciate that. But listen, I'm not above helping people who don't understand what happened. I was confused too when we first came on. I was confused too. So it wasn't until we actually sat here and listened and finally figured it out. You know what I'm saying? That we finally got it together. Okay? But is everyone on the same page? At least on this side of the fence, are we all on the same page? Do we all understand that what happened in Chicago is really not a victory? It's really not nothing to celebrate about, because he got more time added on. So that's not a victory. Okay? It may be a victory to me because I thought he was going to get more time and he didn't. So I might say, you know what, that's a win for them, in my opinion. However, in the real life scheme of things, getting 20 more years on top of 30, that's not a win. That's not a win. Okay? Black Diamond says, I woke up and talked to God and then came in atmosphere. Thank you for coming in here, Black Diamond. I'm sorry I'm about to get off, but you can definitely rewind and play this over, okay? Well, listen, y'all, I love y'all. I'll holler at y'all later on. Y'all go ahead and go back to sleep, because I'm about to lay back down, okay? I love y'all. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace out.